All right. Good afternoon to you. I believe that you are home or you are having a good time with your family. Those of you that are still in church, many people are still in church because of the workload, the type of service they provide in the house of God. Anywhere you're watching from, I welcome you and I say hello to you. I hope you are doing fine. My name is Chuks Ineh, and I'm going to talk about the Adam and Eve story. Somebody made a comment on my page, the previous video I did this morning. Somebody went and made a comment that the story of Adam and Eve is just a fable. It's a Hebrew fable. That's what this person said. And he was wondering the possibility that a man and a woman that existed 5 years ago it cannot be parents to the Egyptians that even built pyramids 15,000 years ago. That was his submission. And so to him, he feels that the story of Adam and Eve are not correct. Anyway, I don't know his religious background. Thank you very much all for joining. I don't know his religious background, but it is difficult to rub someone's belief against another's belief. When the argument has to do with your belief and my belief, we are not going to meet any common ground per se, because belief is something that nobody was there when it happened. No, we don't even care how it happened or when it happened. We just assume that, or we have accepted it to be the truth. We have accepted it to be the way it is, and we are comfortable with that. When I was telling you guys about socialization, and that the primary stage of socialization happens in the family, and it is in the family that the religious beliefs are inculcated into this newborn child who grows up to accept it the way it is. When you even watch the recent broadcast of King Charles, when he was sworn in or proclaimed as the king, he said he's going to protect the Protestants, the true Protestant religion, and on and on. So nobody jokes with their religion. But for me, I believe in the story of Adam and Eve. I believe in the story of Adam and Eve for the simple reason that it is not a hard truth. Honestly speaking, it is not a hard truth that one man and one woman can increase and multiply and replenish the world. If you doubt, look at your own family history and use it as a case study to understand what must have happened in your family. Hello Florence and Sugar Toaster. Hello Stanley. Hello Joseph, and all of you watching me. Thank you very much. A big shout out to all of you that are hanging in there. In the Bible, it was recorded that God created man in his own image. He said, let us make man in our own image and likeness. And so they formed man from the dust or from the earth, and then man was alone. And God also said that it is not good for a man to be alone. Okay, Mazi Eriokwe said Adam and Eve story is not clear. What is not clear about it? And God said it is not good for a man to be alone, that we shall make for him a helpmeet, a helpmeet, someone, a companion. And so Adam was caused to sleep, and while he was asleep, a rib was taken from his body and a woman was formed for him. When Adam awoke, he saw this beautiful woman before him, and he said, this is the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman or Eve, because she was taken out of man. And both of them began their journey in the Garden of Eden. While in the Garden of Eden, they were innocent. Adam and Eve did not know what was good and bad. And so therefore, they were not capable to commit sin. Adam and Eve, after they were made a couple, were commanded by God to increase and multiply and replenish the world. Adam and Eve were unable to have children because they were not even aware that they were naked. For Adam and Eve to have children implies that they must eat from the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Adam was the first person that was tempted by Satan to eat that fruit. Adam was vehement, and Adam said he will not eat of that fruit. Eve was tempted while Adam was not there, and Eve saw the reasoning of the serpent to be a wise one. And Eve knew that if they have to make progress in their journey, they must eat that fruit. Eve went and partook of that fruit, and she was convinced that the fruit was good. With that fruit in her, now she was able to convince Adam to eat the fruit. Both of them ate the fruit, and their eyes were opened, and they realized that they were naked. What they did was to take fig leaves and cover themselves. The next thing that Adam and Eve would have done was to go and eat the fruit of the tree of life. If Adam and Eve went further and placed their hands on that fruit of tree of life and ate it, they would have lived forever. And so God, knowing that that would be the repercussion or the consequence of such an action, stepped in immediately. God, who sees the end from the beginning, who knows everything about the garden he created, who has every access to it, knew that Satan has gone there, and that Satan was tempting them, and that Satan will convince them to eat that fruit. If it was not the will of God or his plan for Adam and Eve to eat that fruit, he would have removed that tree from there in the first place. There was no reason of putting a tree there that will disturb his plan. It's just like when they say keep drugs out of the reach of children. What you do is you go and place it at a level where their hands will not reach, because you know the consequence of children drinking that medicine will harm them or can make them high. Imagine a cough syrup, for example. If children go and drink cough syrup because it's within their reach, unless you're running a social experiment. So when God saw that the next thing that Adam and Eve would have done was to go and eat the tree of life, they stepped in. When God stepped in, he called on him, Adam, Adam. Adam, where are you? Adam replied, I am naked. Adam heard the voice of God, and knowing fully well that he has disappointed God and he has broken the commandment given to him, he hid himself. God asked him, Adam, who told you that you are naked? Have you eaten of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Adam replied, the woman thou gavest me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate. Adamu Asuku said, why did God allow Satan into the garden? Because the answer is because God wanted Adam and Eve to be tempted. He wanted someone to influence their decision. He knows that without someone, an external force, they will not disobey. And God asked the woman, Eve, why did you eat the fruit? And Eve said, Lucifer, Satan, beguiled her. And then God asked the serpent, why did you do it? And God then started giving each person their punishment. And for Adam, he said, you will sweat to eat bread, and from this dust you came out, and this dust you return. And the woman, you'll be in serious pains whenever you're giving birth, and your loyalty is truly to your husband. And the serpent, he said, you eat dust and you will crawl, and man will bruise your head, and you bruise the foot of man. These were the consequences of that decision. And then the next thing that God did was command cherubim and flaming sword to guard all the ways that led to the tree of life. The work that Adam and Eve were supposed to do in the Garden of Eden has come to an end. It is time for them to enter into the real world and then go about the business of increasing and multiplying and replenishing the earth. That is exactly what happened. So Adam and Eve were driven out of the Garden of Eden. They have blood flowing in their body. God commanded that an animal skin cloth was made for them, which was much more better than a fig leaf, because leaves will decompose, and but an animal skin is leather. It will last for a very long time. It will help them weather the storms, because it's cold outside. It's not going to be easy outside. They were living in the Garden of Eden where everything was provided for them. But right now they are going into the real world where they have to plant, nurture it, harvest, save, store some food, where they have to plan their lives, where they are going to raise children and tell their children the stories of what happened in the Garden of Eden, how they were once living and seeing God face to face, walking with God, conversing with Him, and how because of disobedience they have been driven out of the Garden of Eden. They taught their children how God has designed that they will return back to Him, and that He's going to send His Son Jesus Christ to come and save them from their situation. Did Adamu Asuku asked the question, did Adam's children turn around and marry themselves? Yes, Adam gave birth to so many sons and daughters. You see how many years they lived on earth for a long time. How long does it even take for children to start getting married? A boy of 16 can marry. A girl of 12, 13, 14 can marry. So we don't know the ages their children started getting married, but they had sons and daughters, and they started marrying themselves, and that is how they started to increase and multiply and to replenish the world. And so in one way or the other, every man is an Adam. You are the first man when it comes to your own loins, because you're going to have children. I have 5 children. I have my wife, and my parents had 8 sons, and when I look at how big the family is becoming, you know that it is not a strange thing. You go and buy one male dog and one female dog, or a dog, if you're a herdsman, if you rear animals, you will see the way they breed, and look at how many years. Look at the population of Nigeria during the Civil War was about 50-something million, right? Look at the population now, 200-something million, right? So what is the world doing? The world keeps increasing and multiplying and increasing and multiplying. Now the world is in billions. It doesn't mean that the world cannot be in trillions. Nothing stops that. So the story of Adam and Eve is not a false story. It's not an imaginative concoction. God created this world, and He created the first man and the first woman, and He placed them there. And from that union, all the people of the world, no matter the tribe or the color or the nation or the language, they are all children of Adam. And because of the choice of Adam and Eve, we are on earth today, and we have a knowledge of good and evil, and then we can make choices. We can decide to live a good life, or we can decide to live a bad life. The freedom to choose, that power to choose, is in each and every one of us. We are born with it, and we bear the consequences of our choices. We must. There is no two ways about it. And that is the reason why when you choose the right, you have peace, you have better life. Yes, there may be tough life on earth, but we Christians believe, and we know that those things are not just fable stories. They really happened. So let us not trample under our feet such sacred stories, but he mustn't believe in it. There is no freedom that a man must believe in. There is no power that says you must believe in this or you must believe in that. People are free to believe in whatever they want to believe. At the end of the day, what matters is not what you believe, but how you treat others. Okay, if your belief does not translate in you living a good life or treating others kindly and fairly and in a loving way, then that belief is not showing its fruit in you. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. I'll still come back later on today for another Sunday ministration, and I hope you learned one or two things about Adam and Eve. And one of my final thoughts on Adam and Eve is that let us honor them. Let us not desecrate them. Let us not blame them. What they did was necessary. If they didn't eat that fruit, we will not be here on earth today. Have a good day. Bye-bye.